Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make fresh pico-de-gallo. It's like a Hispanic kind of salsa. So what we're going to start off today with is you need 2 jalapenos. Generally it kind of calls for 1. I like to put 2 because I like my salsa a little spicy. So you're going to want to cut those up. Probably just start by removing the seeds and the internal part of the pepper. This is a really great way to get some vegetables in your diet, just because it's so tasty and you don't even think about the fact that you're eating like 3 tomatoes and some really yummy peppers. We've got garlic in there, which also has some really great health benefits. Okay, so you're going to want to kind of chop up the jalapeno into maybe 3 pieces of the half here. So you've got that, and then you want it in 3 pieces. Okay, it doesn't have to be specific. You can kind of eyeball it just depending on what kind of consistency that you want in your salsa. I don't exactly have the best knife for this, so it's a little difficult, but we're gonna get through this. This just so happens to be attempt number 2 of making this at my apartment. It's not that I've never made it before, because I have. It's just I got a new food processor that's a little bit different than the one that I'm used to. So I'm just making the adjustments here. You can kind of adjust your recipe to how big your food processor is, how much you want to make, what you want in it. You can always add like corn and beans, things like that. I like to keep it a little simple because I'm kind of a plain Jane when it comes to food. Okay, so now that I've got my jalapeno chopped up, I'm just going to put it into my food processor here, which is an 8-cup Black & Decker food processor. I know you can't see it right now, but I'll show you in a second. Alright, so here's my food processor. We've got the jalapeno in there. Our next ingredient is going to be minced garlic. So you're just going to kind of get like a little spoonful of it, and you just want to disperse it in there, maybe a little bit more depending on how much you like. Also, we put kosher salt in there. Since it's the coarse kosher salt, when you're blending up your ingredients, it doesn't get broken down so much, so you can still kind of taste it in your salsa. You're also going to want to put some lime juice in there. You can use fresh limes, but I just choose to use this because it lasts longer, and if I want to make batches in the future, that's useful. Alright, so our next ingredient is cilantro. This adds a little kick to your salsa. The amount that you need, I just kind of cut the top off of the bunch that I have here. You don't really need too much. So I've got this bunch here, just cut this top off. It's maybe about a cup. It really depends on how much you like cilantro, if you even like cilantro. But personally, I love cilantro, so I'm okay if there's a little bit extra in there. So I'm going to go ahead and dump that into my food processor. Alright, so our next step is to blend. You don't want to hit the on button of your food processor. If you have one, you want to go with pulse, because you don't want this to get too chopped up. It'll make your salsa liquidy, and it won't be the consistency of the pico-de-gallo that we're looking for. Alright, so that's probably a good consistency there. I'll give you a look on the inside. We see it's pretty chopped up, but it's not too fine. Alright, so for our next ingredient, I have 1 medium-sized onion. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut the top off of it like this. And pull that off. And then also the bottom part that looks like that. Those are the pieces that you don't want in your salsa. And then you're going to cut it in half. And probably cut those halves in half as well. It makes it easier for your food processor to kind of chop these up to the consistency that you're looking for. And you can just kind of peel off this outside skin here. I personally love onions. I think they're the most delicious little things on the earth, so I'm okay if my salsa is a little more oniony. So you can put more than one onion in there if you want, but it's really, like I said, it's up to you how you like your salsa. So I'm just going to stick these in my processor. Since my blade is a little bit smaller, I'm going to kind of cut this up a little bit more than usual. So I feel like that would do me justice. Alright, so we've got the onion in there. Once again, we're not going to hit the on button, we're going to hit the pulse. Alright, so you don't want your onion too chopped up because you've still got tomatoes to put in there. So that looks pretty good to me, just the right amount. Alright, so your next ingredient is going to be these vine-ripened tomatoes. I feel like these are best because they're pretty sweet. They usually, when you get them from the store, they're not like mushy or nasty. They've got a nice kind of tough consistency to the outside of them. I don't push it and see a finger indent in it, which is what I look for in tomatoes. Because if they're too mushy, you're going to have a very liquidy salsa, depending on what you like, which I like mine to be a little more chunky. It's really up to you, but these to me are the best ones out there. So right now I'm putting 3 in there just because my food processor is a little more small. You can put probably up to 4. And what I'm doing is cutting them in half and then cutting the halves in half. So I've got a bunch of nice little pieces here. Alright guys, this is the most critical part of your pico-de-gallo, and this is where it can go wrong really, really fast. This tomato only takes a few pulses to chop it up. If you do it too many times, that's where it gets liquidy, that's where it gets nasty, that's where I'm usually throwing it out. So let's hope this works out. Alright, let's take a look at the inside. Alright, looks pretty good. We've still got some big tomato pieces in there. So what I'm going to do is just mix it around a little bit. It looks like my onion to tomato ratio is a little off. I've got some more tomatoes in the fridge that I can pull out. Depending on how this tastes, I'll give it a try. And maybe decide to put a little more tomato in there. Okay, that's probably good. Now we're just gonna try this and see if it's what we want. So usually this is my choice of chip, the Santitas. It's pretty cheap, and they're the white corn chips. You can go with yellow corn if you want to be a little more healthy. I don't think it really matters, but let's see how this tastes. Perfect. That's great. It kind of looks like there's a little less tomato in there than there should be, but to me it tastes just right. Like I've said time and time again, it is a very personal thing. It's how you like your salsa. You can add beans, you can add corn, whatever you like. This is just a basic pico-de-gallo recipe for you. I hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching. Here's just a quick look at what your finished product is going to look like. The perfect pico-de-gallo.